Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
The season, but most importantly, race one of the first round of the playoffs, and we are here at the Pocono Mountains at the Pocono Raceway. Strap it tight and let's get ready to watch playoff race one right here live on V-Speed. Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Alec Martinez, and joining me here tonight is my co-producer, or I should say my co-commentator, and usually our producer here on Friday nights, Eddie Smith. Eddie, it's great to have you here tonight, and man, it's the first round of the playoffs. It's good to be back, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys attack this track.
Yeah, first round of the playoffs. Everybody fought to get to this point. Now it's time to turn the wick up. If you've been hanging back, chilling, taking it easy, now's the time to I'm ready to go. And we've had 10 wins on the season, and so we're looking to see if we can get 11 tonight. I think we can, but it's all about those playoff. 2 races is not a whole lot of time in these rounds. Usually you get 3, so 2 races means you've got to have good races to move on to the next round. So we'll see who can get that done tonight.
It's going to be something great to watch, and watch all these drivers have to navigate one of the more trickier tracks and trickier corners in all of the circuit, which is the Tunnel Turn Turner 2. And how about we go over to our track facts and look at the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, personally one of my favorite racetracks, and located in Long Pond, Pennsylvania is where you'll find this racetrack. Up in the Pocono Mountains, a 2.5-mile racetrack. And this track designed 3 different corners. The first turn is 14 degrees of banking. The tunnel turn number 2, as you go down the long backstretch, Long Pond straightaway, is an 8-degree banked corner. And then all the way into turn 3 down the short chute is based off of Indianapolis, is that turn number 2, and then turn number 3 based off of the turns at Milwaukee, and that is a 6-degree banked turn. And then all the way down to the longest straightaway in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is the Pocono Raceway, and the big key here is draft. We're not going to see these guys pull away. I think it's going to take a few laps. I think we'd have to guess to see guys pull away, so expect a lot of drafting, a lot of slingshot racing, and that's going to be something to really, really watch out for as these drivers attack this racetrack.
Yeah, this track is so fun. It's a driver's track. It requires 10-point precision. The runs that you need with this particular vehicle, the truck, on a track this big, it's all about momentum, keeping it up, don't ever miss it. You slide the tires, get loose, you have to check up a little bit. That's going to be your whole lap. 2.5 miles, you got to keep this momentum up and to make fast lap time. This is going to be difficult to pass, but I think these guys are up for it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun to watch. These guys have to navigate traffic and navigate getting around each other, and of course, most of all, the playoffs that we see. And we'll pull up our playoff bracket. As we can see, the 12 drivers that are locked in tonight: Levi McCarty, Patrick Drabick, Howie DiSalvino, Jeremy Gardner, Michael Kostek, David Duke, Jake Ham, Daniel Cunningham, Craig Bontrager, Chance Taylor, Tyler Justice, and Stephen McDonald. Will keep updating with him all night, and we'll try to update you throughout the points. And like we said, only 2 rounds, which is here tonight at Pocono, next week at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, or formerly known as the Lucas Oil Raceway. Qualifying has just begun, so how about we send it off to Jared Ashley to perform our national anthem, and we'll be right back after the national anthem for the starting grid for tonight's race.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And a beautiful, beautiful performance by Jared Ashley. Appreciate him doing that here tonight. And Eddie, we're coming back qualifying, just wrapping up. And man, tonight, and again, these qualifying spots that these drivers are going to get, that is going to be a huge, huge advantage in terms of pit stall selection, and as well as where they start. And I think we were saying you kind of want to keep clean air. I think we haven't really been to a lot of aerodynamic mattering tracks. This one for sure is going to matter the most, I think, of all the tracks we go to. I think we saw Las Vegas last week, where Charlie Harcum won, more packed up racing, although it was a night race. We saw it a little more packed up. I think today we're going to see that a little bit more, but like you said, it is very hot out on the racetrack as well. So that's going to be another thing to monitor as this race goes on, as well as the playoffs and even the guys that aren't in the playoffs.
Yeah, and We've got a lot to think about in this race, and 124-degree track temp is pretty wild, but I think that makes it fun. I think when it's gripped up, it's not nearly as fun. So we've got a lot of folks who can break that record of 11 straight wins. J Cam is one right at the top of my list. Jacob Ellingson can definitely get it done. And your pole sitter, Daniel Cunningham, who looks like he is going to take the Jam Printing Promotions pole award. He might be one of those who can win 11 in a row and get his first win here tonight.
And wouldn't that be something? As like you said, how about we go to our starting grid here tonight? 2 playoff drivers are going to round out the front row, and those are drivers that have yet to win this season, looking for their first win. And that Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Sitter Award is going to go to Daniel Cunningham, and on his outside, it's going to be J Cam, both in the low 56 brackets. Row number 2, another row of 2 playoff drivers, and that's Michael Kostek in the 3, starting in position number 3, and Levi McCarty, the Phoenix winner this season. He'll roll off in 4th. In 5th, in row number 3, is Jacob Ellingson. In 6th, Jamie Mullins, 2 non-playoff drivers looking to spoil the party here tonight. Row number 4 has Mike Browning, and last week's winner, Charlie Harcum, in the 28 rolls off in 8th. Row number 5 is going to have Craig Bontrager in the 49 Toyota TRD Pro rolling off in 9th, and Howie DiSalvino, one of the playoff drivers, rolling off in 10th.
In 11th, going to be Chance Taylor, Patrick Dravic in that 12th position. 13th, Brandon Wallace with James Goshen in 14th. 15th, Stephen McDonald with George Jewell in that 16th spot. 17th, Chuck Phelps with James Coffin in 18th. 19th, David Duke and Matt Knights rounds out your top 20.
And in 21st is playoff driver Jeremy Gardner. He will be the second lowest starting position of all the playoff drivers, starting at 21st. Andrew Chapman will roll off in 22nd. 23rd is going to be Logan Sturgeon in the 26 truck, and Tyler Justice will be starting shotgun on the field and is going to need to make up some spots to help his playoff chances and advancement into the next round. He'll round out the field of 24 trucks here tonight, and Eddie, these trucks gritting in a sideways style here at Pocono, and always a tradition that we see in the iRacing simulator. And man, it's going to be something. 60 laps, that's not a lot of laps to, if you make a mistake, to rebound. And this track, although long, big, also very tough to make passes as we see the trucks start to roll off of pit road. And we'll keep you updated as well on drivers that are in the playoffs throughout the night.
Take a look at your race analysis. We got a long pace lap here, 2.5 miles. We're going to crawl around this track. 60 laps though here tonight. Pit road speed 55 miles an hour. 4 tire sets available. That'll be interesting to see how that might play out. I think tires going to be important with 124-degree track temp. 2 green white checker fence is always 100% fuel load, and of course that really fast Pocono setup shop fix setup. And then talk to a few drivers before the race, and the fuel window seems to be anywhere between 28 to 32. And Alec, I know V-Speed, we're not the best at math. We found that out. But if I'm trying to get to the end, lap 60, I do not want to be coming down pit road on lap 28. So that is definitely something for these drivers to be thinking about.
It sure is. In Pocono, one of those racetracks, it always comes down to fuel mileage. Maybe if you're Daniel Cunningham, Jake Ham, do you want to roll maybe out of the throttle, or maybe want to sit in the draft and kind of go half throttle, partial throttle down the straightaways? Because that is another way you could save fuel. Clutching and coasting into these corners is going to be another way to do it, and that's going to be something that Pocono has always been known for. And that has been something that we're going to maybe see tonight if we get a green flag race in. And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate all of you tuning in here tonight. And man, it's special to be out here for Goat Locker and get these trucks going here in the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series. And I cannot wait to get this race started, as the pace car will make a hard left-hand turn. And race 1 of the playoffs is about to begin. Daniel Cunningham, Jake Ham into the restart zone. Green flag is out. The playoffs are underway for the Tricky Triangle. That even starting to turn 1, but now down the long On Pond straightaway, it's Daniel Cunningham, Jake Ham, right in the draft of the 91 truck, and then it's 4 playoff drivers in a row into the tunnel turn they go. Drabick making a desperate move around the outside, 3 wide top, and he gets 2 positions out of it and goes into the top 10. And now Howie DiSavino struggling to get by Mike Browning. Now Drabick up to the outside of the 55 into turns number 3 they go, and Browning slides up. Drabick trying to cross both of them over, and Howie DiSalvino a little loose down the front stretch, but down to complete lap number 1. It's going to be Daniel Cunningham with the lead, but now the draft will pull them in and pull them away, and now we're going to see how much do these trucks suck up to each other. As here comes Kostek to the inside of McCarty for third. Oh, there's trouble down the front stretch, sliding into turn number 1. It looks like 2 trucks, one of those trucks back up the racetrack in front of Jeremy Gardner. Goshen is in it, and 1 truck is also in it. It's playoff driver Chance Taylor.
Wow, and his one of the son of a quarter panel or sheet metal or something's flying through the air, and yeah, big wreck back here, and it seemed like it might have started with James Goshen in that 85 machine. We'll go back and see what happened there, but yeah, it looks like it started right back here. We'll kind of back it up just a little bit if we can get a better camera angle. A little bit of drafting going on right here. I wonder if Goshen.
Oh, that looks like a bad push gone wrong, and there's Kaufman getting a piece of it as well. And look at the 20 or the 14 truck of Chance Taylor come up across the track. Is that Jeremy Gardner that hits him?
You know, I really couldn't tell. Gardner had to start in the back. No, Gardner.
That might have been him.
No, was that? It was Stephen McDonald in the 68.
Stephen McDonald, that is another playoff driver.
Yeah.
To get involved, and he has a missing, like you said, you saw a fender go flying, and I think it might have been his. And that is a hard hit, and really nowhere to go. Not expecting him to come up the track that fast, and you see him kind of in no man's land. Really nowhere to go, and we're on board with James Goshen. As you can see in front of him is the Chevy Silverado of Chance Taylor. It looks like maybe a push gone wrong here. You'll hear the RPMs raise up here, and then he gets just an off-center push. And this isn't Daytona and Talladega. These trucks a lot more unstable than they would be there. And you can see Taylor up the track, and maybe his race over. And Stephen McDonald, heavy damage as well. I believe the 33 of Tyler Justice. Those are 3 playoff trucks involved.
Yeah, not what you want to have happen early in the race, and you know, that was just one of those racing deals. I don't think Goshen was being very aggressive there, and you can see the damage on the 68 of Stephen McDonald. That right front is pretty toe up from the flow up, as they say. But yeah, I mean, no fast repair, so that's going to be tough. Stephen's going to have to come down pit road, probably get that fixed up. But it doesn't seem to be too bad. It just depends on where that geometry in the front end sort of messed up. That's really, looks like that right front might be, it's sticking out. The toe is all jacked up. The right front is kind of pointing to the wall.
Sticking out like a sore thumb is that right front tire, and not even the fender, not even there. And maybe interesting for some of the guys in the back half of the field to top off on fuel. We talked about 28 laps. At the very minimum, this makes it maybe a little bit easier now as we get laps under caution to save fuel. This might help you get to that halfway mark, maybe a little bit past it, to make your life a little more easier and not have to worry about fuel later in this race. Maybe when we come to the end of it, as I see McDonald, Phelps, Goshen, the Duke is in there as well. And that's interesting for him, who is a playoff driver. Logan Sturgeon is in, and Tyler Justice also in to get damage fixed. But I think a big one there is David Duke, Brandon Wallace as well, another one coming in. So this will be interesting to see. Maybe the Duke going to try to play a different strategy here and propel him to the end. We saw him win earlier this season at Iowa, and I'm sure he would love to get that win in and not have to worry about the next race, which is at a short track next week at IRP, and we know that track could be a calamity in itself.
Right, yeah. David Duke started in the pits on this race, so I think he might have been either nervous about how the start was going to go or something, because he started in pit road, and maybe for the best is that calamity. But going back to that wreck, just kind of wanted to highlight just exactly what happened. I don't think that was an aggressive, trying to do too much too early. I think it was just like you said, a bad push, and got Chance maybe checking up a little bit sooner than Goshen was thinking, and that's how quickly things can go wrong. But they have to be aggressive. You were talking about the restart and how or the start of the race and people making wild moves like Drabick, but you have to make those moves and you have to keep up with the draft. You have to keep momentum up. You can't really just ride around. I think this caution here is going to help these guys save enough fuel to make it to halfway. But you definitely just can't hang around. If you plan on winning this race, you got to get up to the front. You got to do it quick.
Yes, you do. And this is the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series. And that reminds you to, as well as the Veterans for Life Racing, as they are the title sponsor for tonight's race. They are a race team with the goal of fielding a truck next season in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, veteran-based and focused on helping veterans all across the racing world. They're heavily involved with many veteran nonprofits to raise awareness and funds. And Goat Locker Racing is now partnered with them, and they are the title sponsor of the Friday Truck Series, which is the series you are watching live right now here on V-Speed. And we appreciate all those tuning in tonight for tonight's race, and already off to a little bit of a wild start. Our wreck on lap 1 involving 3 of the 12 playoff drivers, and some of those drivers, one looks to be multiple laps down and possibly out of this race, and that's Chance Taylor. But Stephen McDonald,
I'll tell you, Chance is back out on track. He's back out. Yeah, he's one lap down. So if a caution comes back out, looks like the right front is pretty tore up still.
It is
almost 3 minutes on pit road, but he's got to stay out here. He's got to come out.
He does.
On track.
McDonald, same thing.
Yeah, you can't have one bad race, and so right now he's in trouble, but he's got to stay with it because he's got to get every single point he can. Only 2 races in this round. He can't afford just to quit out. A lot of guys would just say, all right, I'm done after that type of incident. But if he plans on, you see his rear bumper is gone on the 14. That's what we saw flying down to the infield, some souvenir for a fan.
And that's going to be tough for him. And good thing about Pocono is the long pace laps if we get cautions for these guys to kind of get the damage fixed. But I tell you this, if we don't get cautions, you're going to be in you're going to be hurting here because this track is all about aerodynamics. Even a slight crinkle of the fender can cost you a tenth down the straightaway. And given that there's 3 of them, you don't really want that, as the pace car will pull off and we'll go back to a restart. Daniel Cunningham, Jake Ham, the front 2 as they started. We'll go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out in the air, and we're back underway as Cunningham gets a nice jump, but now the top lane a little more formatted there, as it sounds like maybe David Duke on the radio saying he might have had a penalty.
Yeah, he has got a black flag, and they cleared it. So must have been some sort of passing under yellow or some sort of somebody not getting caught up, but they did clear that penalty. So he is good to go.
Kostek up to second.
Yeah, Kostek's the one I'm worried about. Is getting a second win. I want to see that 11th winner, Alec. I got to see it. I want to see somebody get that win and move on. But this round's too important. Even if those guys who have a win, you see McCarty get a little bit loose there. Even those guys who have a win, right now everybody wants to win because it locks you into the next round. So if you're a playoff driver, you want that win. And you need it. So I don't see Michael Kostek playing nice for a teammate who hasn't won yet. He is a master here at Pocono, but you can already see, I mean, we've got 3 non-winners so far this season in the top 4, Alec.
Yeah, you got Ellingson, the first truck that's not in the playoffs, and he's had a rough season this year, and man, wouldn't it feel nice to get that win and get the monkey off your back? And I mean, it would be a statement win proving that he deserved to be in here. And I think he did, in my personal opinion. Just had some bad runs. Some things not go his way, and I think if those hadn't happened, the 27 truck was for sure going to be in this playoffs and maybe even a championship factor. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do that this season, and he'll have to try again next year. But nonetheless, he's still in the race. He could still play a part in winning this race and become that 11th different winner. And like you said, 3 of these drivers, 2 of them being playoff drivers, in the mix here in this top 4 as Ellingson goes to the inside of Ham for the 3rd position. And if you're the playoff drivers, you got to be a little more, you got to think a little bit extra because of what this means for your season. 1 wreck, 1 bad finish, especially in a round of 2 races, can cost you your season.
Jake can be sort of a bull in a china shop here. He knows, and you can see Jake Ham just dives it in there. He's not worried about it. You can see a little frustration out of Ellingson as he kind of just cut him off. But, you know, it's a tale of 2 things that are happening right there. I mean, Ham wants to keep that track position. He does not want to give that up. And Jake Ellingson trying to make a very difficult pass here at Pocono. And Ham says, no, sir, I am going to hold on to this position. You're going to have to fight me for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's really wide open on who's going to win this thing and who, you know, who's going to do what in this race. I mean, if you're Ellingson, even though you're not in the playoffs, you're still going to go for that win. I mean, a champion's is great, but winning races is way more fun than I think winning a championship. It's good bragging rights, but man, if I can win me a couple races, even if I'm not in the playoffs, I'll take that anytime.
And when we talk about playoff spoilers, we saw a lot of those, and even in the real NASCAR series, Layden Riggs in the Truck Series, Riley Herbst in the Xfinity Series, and Ross Chastain and Ricky Stenhouse, a couple guys, Chris Buescher in the playoffs in the Cup Series. So, be interested to see if maybe Jacob Ellingson would like to be one of those playoff guys and catch fire and get momentum going into next season. As Ham looked like he almost caught the wall there off of turn number 1, and now into 2. Ellingson looks to be fastest of the 4 trucks, but kind of just staying in line here. But you got to be careful not riding too directly behind the truck in front of you. Getting all that dirty air can affect those tires here, and you don't want to burn up your tires here because the way these corners are shaped, they're not meant to have a burnt off right front. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you're going to be fighting that all race long, and it's doubly worse with the track being so hot. But right now, we saw Jake pull out there and try to make a pass, but right now you're kind of seeing the draft being a huge factor here. You really don't want to step out at the moment, especially if you're Jamie Mullins or Patrick Dravitt back here. You're hoping that these guys will just stay in line, or that the leaders will get up there and race, which looks like might be happening right now. Is Kostick will go down to the inside, not quite able to get the run just yet. So you're going to see how difficult tonight it is to make a pass here at Pocono in these trucks. And right now it's sort of a drafting train, just waiting on the tires to start to give up, and then we'll start to see more and more separation. But right now it's sort of a train. You see Ham get really loose. Here comes Ellingson again, right down to the inside.
Here comes Ellingson to the inside. Will Ham give up the position? It doesn't look like he will. And Ellingson on that kind of, he's going to get really tight there, losing all the side force to the outside of truck of the 87 of Ham, and that's going to allow Levi McCarty to get a big run as these two continue to side draft each other, almost rubbing doors and trading paint down this front stretch, and a long front straightaway at that, as Ellingson still to the inside of Ham, and this time Ham will have to give up the position and let Jacob Ellingson go, as Levi McCarty now closing up closer, but maybe a crossover from Jake Ham. No. Oh, yes, I should say that. Take that word back, as Ham goes to the inside of Ellingson, but now into the tightest corner on the racetrack, and that is not the preferred way to pass on the inside unless you make that guy on the outside have to get out of the throttle. He feeds him a fender to the inside, and Ham retakes the position a corner after Ellingson got by him, and here comes the 07 of Patrick Dravitt and that Jam Putting and Promotion Chevrolet Silverado as he goes underneath Levi McCarty, and McCarty going to hold him down, but now we'll get the momentum and the draft down the front stretch, and Dravitt will have to get back in line, and you could say this is a Jam, because Jam Printing and Promotions is one of those sponsors here tonight, and since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Go Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community, and we appreciate their sponsorship. As you can see, the 07, the creamsicle machine, as Joey Atterbury used to say earlier this season when he was with us earlier in broadcasting this season, and the 07 creamsicle truck driven by Patrick Dravitt is up a couple positions from where he started, almost inside this top 5 as McCarty.
Up 6, actually. Yeah, he's up 6 from where he started. So started in 12 and has already made it up to that 6th position. And, yeah, I mean, you can see the battle that Ellingson and Jake Ham had kind of allowed these two up front to start to pull away. They got out to about half a second now, and Ham is desperately trying to get back to them. That's what happens when you battle side by side. It's one of those deals where you have to work together sometimes if you want to win these races, and you get a run. You don't always have to make it. Right now you're seeing Dravitt trying to make that pass on the inside, but the outside line's going to prevail. We know how good after last week Levi McCarty can be on the high line, or 2 weeks ago at Phoenix, and so he's going to fight hard. And every time they run side by side, they lose these front 2 leaders more and more. Is McCarty going to get loose off the corner and tags the wall?
I looked like he was pushing that truck a little bit harder than I was expecting him to. We saw him kind of lose the nose and then kick the back end out. He goes wide here, but he'll be able to carry a little bit more momentum than the 07 of Drabic, and have drafting help from Ellingson ahead of him. And Drabic will have to get back in line once again. And it looks like, if I can tell, Drabic has a very, very fast truck, and he's able, I think, to have a say in these top top two, I should say, are. He looks to be faster than the 24, maybe even faster than the 27 and 87. And even Jamie Mullins behind these guys is close up to the back of Drabic. So now Drabic's got to play a little bit of defense as well as offense.
Yeah, Jamie Mullins, one of those guys that's going to sneak up there. He takes care of his stuff. He's going to be there at the end, and he's one of those that wants these guys just to chill out, just drive, stay in line, stay up with the leaders, don't lose it, because he'll take advantage of it later on. But yeah, right now I don't really know who's good. What I see is, who is winning is Pocono. The 126-degree track service is winning right now, because you can see, even up here, Michael Kostick, who is trying to put a little pressure on the back bumper of Cunningham. He is getting loose. Ooh. You can see how it's almost a 4-tire slide. These two teammates, though, you can see they're kind of working together, and it's paying off. They're able to keep a gap. Jake Ham is as hard as he's trying. He cannot get back to it.
I think Kostek might be a little bit faster than Cunningham, but being a good teammate right now, we'll see when we get to the end of this race. But as well, Jeremy Gardner is up to 9th. He just got by Matt Browning the last lap. And he's kind of putting a little bit of a gap. He's got a little bit of clean air to catch up to the last week's winner at Vegas, Charlie Harcum. But Gardner up to 9th. Howie DiSavino just outside the top 10 in 11th. And Craig Bontrager as well, right behind that 55. So some of the playoff guys stuck in this middle of the pack, but they're going to try to work themselves up and maybe a little bit faster, try to get around Mike Browning. There's a little bit of smoke there, and I think from maybe Levi McCarty, who got loose once again. And that's going to split that front 5 up a little bit. It's now Drabic to the inside. But he's got to be careful, because Mullins now has a run to the outside of him. And this time Mullins gets to the outside of Drabic, and instead of Drabic gaining a spot, he's going to lose one of those spots and go all the way and back to 7th, and possibly even 8th, as here comes Harcum in that blue and white Chevrolet Silverado in that 28 truck. He's caught up, and he's sitting in 8th. And these top 8 only separated by less than a second and a half, 1.3 seconds from Cunningham to Harcum. And it seems like Cunningham may be holding up this group here, because now Ham and Ellingson have caught up, and now Ham going to the inside of Kostek for 2nd.
Yeah, Jake Ham, Ellingson did a great job to help get caught back up, and I think maybe these guys up front, getting a little bit ill-handling trucks and starting to slide around a little bit, allowed these guys to pitch right back up. Talking about Gardner. Garner's up 12 spots where he started. He also had some issue early on in qualifying. Could not get a qualifying lap, so he had to start in the back, and he is working his way to the front. But you could see Jake Ham. It's hard to see off the corner, but he was four-wheel sliding this thing. Let's go on board with Ham and watch his steering wheel inputs for a lap at least, and just see what these guys are dealing with, trying to, like you said, deal with this dirty air, but also try to keep momentum up, dealing with the slick track. So he goes down really slow into 1 and 2. You can see the Kostick. Yeah, Kostick's back in, just shifting around a little bit. Ham's going to have a run here. Will he take it, or will he just chill?
No, he will.
He's going for it. You're going to watch.
There is no chill with Jake Ham.
Yeah, and he smartly backs out of it for the tunnel turn. Yeah, he knew it's been tough on the bottom on that tunnel turn to make it work, and it was going to open the door for somebody to get around him, like Jacob Ellingson, and he does a good job there.
Yeah, he did a smart move, and that's a playoff move right there. I think maybe in a regular season race you wouldn't do that, but I think in this race you know that there's a little bit more on the line here. There's no point in pushing that truck, getting in a wreck there. And look at these guys, like you said, sliding all over. And the track temps we've been seeing very, very hot.
The tape never went past 11 or 12 o'clock. It was dead center from middle to exit, man. He has got a lot of counter steer trying to get that thing to stay straight on exit.
And you can see this, as you can see Kostek going to the inside of Cunningham here, gets some clean air to the nose, and even Ham getting a little bit of that left front fender as he gets really loose off the corner. But we saw him stick that left front fender out a little bit, that left front headlight, to get some clean air to the nose, and it seemed like it worked a little bit better to not lose as much time as he has been losing to Kostek. And we're closing up on a third of the way through this race, and it seems like everybody is faster than Cunningham, although Cunningham may be doing a good job holding up everybody. But once these guys get going and they start pushing, can he hold them off is the question, because Kostek, his teammate, looks very good. Ham looks good. Ellingson's starting to struggle a little bit now. He's lost a little bit of touch with these guys, but Ham right now seems to be the fastest truck, and now Gardner has caught up to the leaders, and that time by was 0.3 of a second faster than everybody on the racetrack.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle, if you will, once they all get caught up. And we're just about 10 laps away from pit stops, most likely. As you can see, Cunningham gets a little wide there in turns 1 and 2, but Kostek playing a little bit of defense. You can see he's really trying not to go around that 91 machine. And
maybe saving fuel.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what's going on. Yeah, saving fuel. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, Cunningham has no draft, so he has got to save more than the rest of the guys. We'll see. We'll see how that's going to play out here. Maybe that's why everybody's catching up.
And Gardner has just gotten by Harcum. Now Drabic will send to the inside of Mullins, and Mullins comes back on the outside, makes him at the lift, and here comes Gardner to the inside in that 42 truck, black and red 42 to the inside, side drafts the 66, and how about that? Kostek going to the inside of his teammate Cunningham, but Ham goes to push the 91 for the lead. We'll see into turn number 1 if Kostek gets a little bump from Ellingson to Ham, and Kostek maybe going to clear Cunningham. No, maybe anymore. Yes, he does. Will Cunningham try to get back around? Ham wiggles the back end and now goes to the inside of Cunningham for second, as Gardner wasn't able to get Drabic, but got Harcum and Mullins. And Mullins is falling back to ninth, as he can see Ham go to the inside of Cunningham into the tunnel turn, and he will get that spot, and Cunningham might lose another spot or 2 spots to Ellingson and McCarty, as Ellingson loses the rear end in the tunnel turn. Here comes Levi McCarty to the outside.
Yeah, big run from McCarty. Cunningham had to just check up because he was getting past, and I don't know if he's got maybe a fuel issue. I think I can't tell if he's saving fuel, but he looks really loose right there as the back end just shifting around on him. Cunningham just trying to get his bearings back after losing a couple spots. Now he's just trying to get the truck back in order, and he's in a firefight, man. It's like rolling around in a fire ant bed, brother.
He got a heck of a shove from Levi McCarty and Ellingson to the bottom. Here comes Drabic and Gardner, but as these two race, the top 2 of Jake Ham and Michael Kostek continue to pull away. Now Drabic under fire from Gardner, as Gardner goes to his outside for 5th as we're on board with Kostek. You can see that battle behind these guys, and these guys inching away almost a second a lap as Drabic almost gets to the back bumper of Ellingson. Gardner comes with a crossover. Ellingson's loose. He gets sideways, and he saves it. A huge save from Jacob Ellingson, but he's going to fall to the back.
Yeah, you knew that was coming. I mean, there's just too much going on right there. They were in a hornet's nest, and it was somebody had to give, and unfortunately it was Ellingson. But he's okay. We got plenty of time, and he's going for a win. He's not worried about playoffs, so he'll be able to get back on the horse. He didn't lose that much time, only falling back, still less than 4 seconds back from the leaders.
He's still in this pack, but now you got to wonder, is Cunningham holding up Levi McCarty? And I think he'll probably be holding up Drabic and Gardner, and even Harcum and Mullins. Those guys have been slowly but surely there. But how about the guys that's in ninth? We haven't mentioned them much, all but maybe once or twice tonight. Craig Bontrager has worked himself up into ninth behind these guys, and he looks to be one of the fastest trucks on the racetrack that last lap, faster than everybody ahead of him.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of checking up behind Cunningham. The 2 leaders are far and away the fastest. They're running 58 ones, where everybody else is 58 fives behind Cunningham. So it is a train right here, and Cunningham is the lead, the lead train. But I think maybe he's just lost a little bit of the tires being out front. Maybe he needs to save a little bit of fuel. That's something that we've been considering. Where Kostek and everybody else has been able to save that fuel. So, it's right now. It's just interesting to see what we do. As far as getting to lap 30 here, as far as fuel goes, you've got to get at least to lap 30. So that's might be what Cunningham's trying to do. He's been out front, not able to save much fuel. Now might be that time.
Gardner looking to get there, but now McCarty goes to the inside, trying to make Cunningham overdrive the tunnel turn, and he did just that. Cunningham misses the corner. Here comes McCarty, and here comes Gardner way down low to the bottom of into the short chute, thinks better of it, gets back behind, and we'll see if Gardner can pull off the 2-for-1 special into turns 3 or even into turns 1. Here we go, into the inside goes McCarty. He clears Cunningham, and now it's up to Jeremy Gardner to get by the 91, and now McCarty has clean under the nose of that 24 Chevrolet, and now Gardner gets in behind Cunningham, and that's 3rd, 4th, 5th. 6th is Drabick, that 07, and 7th, Charlie Harcum, all together. And now let's see if McCarty can try to reel these top 2 in. And now Gardner going to go to the inside of Cunningham, who has just fallen off of a cliff in terms of pace.
Yeah, Cunningham's in trouble for sure. He's ready for that pit stop, but he can't go early. He cannot. He has to wait. It's a long way to that pit stop. But I tell you what, I can't say enough about McCarty. I think we kind of
under the radar, I can tell you.
Yeah,
that.
he definitely is under the radar. Although he's had the best regular season, he's got the best average finish out of any driver, and he's got that win where he dominated at Phoenix. I definitely don't think we give him enough credit as a threat to win this championship. But after seeing that win at Phoenix, that really opened my eyes of, oh gosh, this guy is a championship contender. He's just not got the wins. Although, you know, once he got Phoenix, we started paying attention to him a little bit and realized, oh, wow, he's got the best average finish out of anybody. So the most consistent driver, definitely Levi McCarty, and he's showing it right now.
And we've talked to him a couple times in a podium finish, and he's done a great job these last few weeks, or like you said, all season, to be consistent. And to get a consistent, how about the Veterans for Life Foundation? The goal of the Veterans for Life Foundation is to both revitalize communities and support military veterans and their families' successful transition back into civilian life. Through support services, counseling, and education, they provide permanent, affordable housing to veterans and their families, and they are a proud sponsor of the Goat Locker Racing League. And man, they do a good job, and what a great race we've gotten treated to so far. Is now, how about this, Jeremy Gardner to the inside of Levi McCarty. You could see the top 2, the leaders, Jake Ham and Michael Kostek, who is leading this race, about 1.7 seconds ahead, and I think Gardner might have something for them. They just got to find a way to maybe draft up to them in some way, shape, or form. I think Gardner might be a better leader than he might be a better leader than a caboose to the 24. As Gardner gets to the inside here, trying to get some clean air to the nose, but clips the apron. Gonna hurt his exit here as McCarty still sliding off the corner.
Gardner's got to make a decision here on whether or not he wants to. He trusts McCarty to be running fast enough to help him catch up. And it looks like he does trust him. He's going to get right to his bumper. He's not going to pull, because he knows if he goes to make that pass and McCarty fights him off, they're only going to lose even more time. And we're coming up on pit stops.
I don't know. We'll see. Here he comes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he is going to have that much confidence as he gets a big run off of the tunnel turn. We'll see if McCarty fights him. I don't think he's going to. He lets him go.
I think McCarty's too smart. A solid veteran move to just let the 42 go. You know, he has a little more pace. Maybe he can lead you to the promised land, if you so will, and get him to these top 2 drivers of Jake Ham and Michael Kostek is a big push down the front stretch. Got to be easy with it there. You see him lift. But that last time, we'll see this lap. That last time, there were a little bit of trading spots, but Gardner was just as fast as Jake Ham, who was running second in the draft, and we'll see what he can turn this time by with a little bit of clean air to the nose of that 42, and he looked like he already chopped off about 0.2 of a second as these leaders kind of get together, and maybe we'll start battling here. And those 2 of McCarty and Gardner have pulled away from Cunningham and Drabick, who's under fire from Harcum.
Yeah, pit stops is what I'm thinking about right now. Just trying to make sure I've got everything settled, ready to go. And hopefully I practice pit road entry, because this is probably one of the easier pits to get into. But at 55 miles an hour, you can make up a lot of time, especially pitting under green here. So you better make sure you know exactly how you're going to get down pit road. You see, man, Travis really struggling there off of that corner.
Bontrager.
Yeah, and so he's going to stack up Harcum and Bontrager behind him as Cunningham kind of get away. As, man, we've got a battle for the lead. I thought for a second it was like Chance Taylor who's going to go down a second lap deal there for him.
Well, let's see. It was Chance Taylor. Yes, it was Chance Taylor. Sorry, I got a little mixed up with the front end of Jake Ham, as Bontrager just got by Harcum, who's now going to get passed by Jamie Mullins for the moment as they go into the tunnel turn side by side. And one of those turns got to be very, very easy with as Taylor goes way wide, and he'll let the 42 and 24 go. Like you said, Cunningham is now settled in to 5th, and Drabick now starting to struggle here. But how about Gardner, who was 0.4 of a second faster than our leader, and he's pulling Levi McCarty here off of turn 3, and he's starting to pull away, and I think we might have a 3-horse race here, as that 42 has something to say with the speed he's carrying.
Yeah, he's been able to be patient, I guess. I mean, he's been driving up the field. He's super fast. We know that, so it's not surprising. But, yeah, he's been able to save his stuff, and this is a driver's track. You got to nail these corners perfectly, and that's exactly what he did. Is, man, I think
he's feeling the pressure from that 42.
Logan Sturgeon has had contact and has a meatball. Wall.
So, he's got more than that.
Yeah, he is. Well, no, he doesn't have more than a meatball. He's got a meatball. So he's got something that happened to him. I don't know what happened.
He might have been off of turn number 1 down Long Pond straightaway, possibly. See, he's battling there with James Goshen, and looks maybe a little contact here off of the tunnel turn even, and you'll see him go to the outside. Oh, I think I'm going to have an idea if he'll get loose here into the wall and then slam to the inside wall. And, oh, man, that didn't look like too nice, and that's it. And, oh, there's contact between Von Traeger and Drabick, and what a save from Drabick and Hartcomb.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Jake Ham. Now to the inside. He's going to finally take that position over.
And thank you for that, as Ham now takes the lead from Michael Kostek halfway through. And here comes Jeremy Gardner, who is stalking them like a hawk. As you can see him, he is now into the picture. But I will say, we might need to take a look back what happened between Bontrager and Drabick, as that was almost a wreck that took out multiple trucks. But we'll keep it on this battle for the lead as Ham looks to get loose, and so does Kostek, and Gardner cuts out another 2/10. And now goes for the lead. Here goes Kostek.
Yeah, Kostek knows what's coming. He's going to get out there. We'll see if they dive down pit road. We're on lap 30 here, so we'll see if pit stops happen at any point in time soon. And so I think Kostek was trying to get out there, maybe get this lead back, but man, I'll tell you what, Gardner's rolling right now. I don't think here comes Patrick Drabick down pit road. So first driver to come down pit road, and he was needing it bad.
He was, and he even had a 4-wheel drift in turns number 3, and he was able to save it. And now he'll get back going to at least some fresh tires, but we'll see how much the tires will matter as the top 3 now are together. And, well, Gardner was catching. Levi McCarty has been kind of tailed along with these guys as they continue to race each other. And now having 3 guys race each other makes it much easier for Levi McCarty to chip into that lead and maybe pit with them. And I think it's going to be important to maybe have some draft as you pit, as Kostek gets loose. And here comes Gardner to the inside for second. We'll see where Ham goes to block and take air away. He'll go and take that air away from Kostek, and now leaves Gardner clean air to the inside, and Gardner goes to second. Kostek probably going to come into pit, and he does. He'll short pit the top 3 of the top 3, and now he's in all by himself. And that will have to.
I think that was a great call to come on down pit road after Gardner gets around him. He's not going to be able to hold up Gardner anymore. So any more laps they run is too much, and so they probably got another lap or so on fuel. And I thought I like this call to come on down pit road for Kostek and go ahead and get those tires, get fuel, maybe even get a little undercut and get that lead, because they are right now, they're about almost 2.5 seconds slower
the pace,
than they are on fresh tires.
That is surprising to see. We don't normally see a lot of tire fall off at Pocono. Maybe old Pocono we did, but we'll see here. Look at this. What a corner for Jeremy Gardner, and he just might go for the lead on Jake Ham as the lap truck of Matt Knight is closing up as well. McCarty losing these 2 a little bit as Gardner to the inside of Jake Ham. Will these 2 try to respond to Michael Kostek's pit stop? No, they won't. They'll battle, and Kostek say they will. Let's keep it on as there's contact made between the top 2. Ham and Gardner now stay even side by side. Levi McCarty is bringing it down pit road. And this will be interesting in these guys.
Love this slipping and sliding they've got going on up here at the front. Jake Ham not willing to give it up. They're going to be side by side, 126 degrees, and Ham's going to get up out of the groove a little bit, but he's going to get the run, and he holds on to it from a hard charge of Jeremy Gardner here right at the end of this run.
This is going to be tough. Into the tunnel, turn side by side. The 42 truck pulling him back with a little bit of side draft down Long Pond straightaway. Ham pinches the 42 down into the turn, and they're costing each other valuable time. When do these drivers decide to pit, as they've been shortcutted by the driver who was with them and the driver that was behind them? Into turn 3 they'll go. who is going to bring it there. And man, what a voice crack that was. And now we'll see who's going to bring it into pit road. They stay out another lap. Cunningham now bringing it down pit road. Ellingson stays out. DiSavino and Mullins continue to stay out. And everybody, at least from Kostek, Drabic, McCarty, Bontrager, Browning, have all come in to pit road as we see one of our playoff contenders, the pole sitter, into pit road, and that's Daniel Cunningham. But Michael Kostek has clean track ahead of him, and he's going to jump these two that are battling for the lead.
Yeah, Patrick Drabic last lap ran a 56.699. Jake Ham a 59 flat. So that is the difference at the moment. They're definitely going to jump these guys, I think, for sure, as long as they're staying out. But these guys have had the best long run speed. As Garner tail slaps the wall as Matt Nikes is blinking out in front of him. Oh, scary moment there for the 42. I think he's coming in this time.
That could be costly for Gardner to see how much damage he has. Ham going low? No, he's not. And now that, like you said, might have been the point for Gardner to say, all right, I'm coming in. And now he is in. Is your 42 truck, one of your playoff drivers, I should say. And now I got to think that forces the hand of Jake Ham in the 87 truck to come in next time. And now the pit cycle has begun.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for a whole lot of reasons, because I think Gardner has the best long run truck for sure, and I think Jake Ham actually does too. So running long is the right call, I do think, because yeah, while they're going to get undercut, they still got a whole another half of the race to go run. Although you don't want to cut yourself too short here, but I think if you got a good long run truck, you know how to save tires. Going long, that just makes those passes easier. We talked about early in the race how difficult it is to pass. We saw folks on equal tires not be able to make those moves. Well, when you got 5-lap pressure tires, those moves are a lot easier. For sure.
So. And Gardner just out of pit road. Our leader, Jake Ham, will now bring it down to pit road to the service of his 87 Chevy Silverado. And now the 66, Jamie Mullins, brings that Chevy down pit road. Ellingson comes in, and that leaves Brendan Wallace, Charles Feltz, and David Duke, the last drivers to bring it down pit road. Feltz continuing to stay on the racetrack, and I believe he's going to stay out, as well as Howie DiSavino in the 55 truck. So those three, including Brendan Wallace and Feltz, have yet to come in to pit road, and the 87 misses his box.
Yeah, so worth to note that Brandon Wallace and Chuck Feltz, actually one of those drivers, or two of those drivers, that came down on that first little caution and took that extra fuel. So they'll be able to run a little bit longer, maybe hope for a caution.
And Kostek blows by the 87 of Ham, who's out of his pit box and away. McCarty goes by, and now here comes Gardner going by Ham, who it's going to take a whole lap to get up to pace, and Ham has lost about 2 seconds to the 42 of Gardner, and he's lost another position to Cunningham and another to Bontrager.
Yeah, look at this gap that Kostek was able to get. Even though Drabic came down one lap earlier, Drabic was pretty far back, and Kostek was right up in the top 3. And look at the gap he's got. Nothing but clean air. He's got nobody drafting off of him, so he is in the zone now. And for a road course racer like him, you get him in the zone at a track like Pocono, he can lay down some heaters lap after lap. No dirty air. He's out here on his own, and he's got plenty of opportunity to save tire. The big question now is just how big is 4 laps going to mean for Jeremy Gardner. He's definitely got the speed, and he run down Kostek before the end of this race, and we've only got 23 laps to go before this thing's over with.
And we'll see in DiSavino into pit road, and we'll see if Kostek can hold on. We'll see if Gardner can reel him in, or maybe even Jake Ham as well. But Ham is stuck behind the 91 and 49 of Bontrager and Cunningham, and that might hurt his chances to even run down Gardner, as DiSavino brought it down to pit road last lap. And there's Brandon Wallace, who is your current leader on the racetrack, hoping for a caution maybe to get him back in the tire advantage, but I think this time maybe at the edge of his field window, and he brings it down to pit road. And we'll see if Charles Feltz brings it into pit road. He does not, and that means Feltz will get his lap led on the night. And as he's drafting off of Chance Taylor on the 14, as we're on board with him, you can see him maybe looking at the camera, giving us a little wave, if you so will. And so far, so good here for this for the 75 truck, who's now leading, maybe hoping for a caution, as Kostek goes up to second, Drabic up to third. We'll see McCarty, it seemed like, had a chance. It was in the draft of Patrick Drabic, and then it looked like he fell off. I don't know what happened. He got caught up behind a lap truck or what happened, but he was only 9/10. Now he's 2 seconds behind, And we'll see about Gardner as these guys behind them, battling behind Gardner, I should say, is Bontrager and Ham battling for what is the 7th position on the racetrack. And man, Ham is getting desperate here. He knows he's got to catch up to Gardner, who is now 3 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, looks like Charles Phelps might be bringing it in right now.
He's coming in this time.
He's giving up the lead, and that will give the lead
Caustic.
back. Yeah, Caustic back out in the lead, and now the race is on. This is it. From here on out, this is the race, and I'll tell you what, Caustic is starting to pull away just a little bit. It was about 2.5 seconds. Now it's 2.5 as Caustic was almost 0.3 faster that lap right there. So Drabic on 1 lap older tires, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're at a 2.5 miler flat track like this, it chews them up, a hot track. 1 lap is a lot.
It sure is. And right now, I think we're just seeing a little bit of struggling here from Jake Ham, who's gotten caught up behind Cunningham. He's gotten caught up behind Bontrager, and he's sitting about a second behind Jeremy Gardner, who he was racing for the lead. Maybe don't count Jake Ham out of here yet. If he can make a quick pass on Daniel Cunningham, and then he's going to have 3 drafting buddies to go with him, basically. And can they push him up to Jeremy Gardner, or can he get himself up in the draft of Jeremy Gardner? But he's got to make this pass quick on Daniel Cunningham if he wants to have a shot. He'll use that outside lane, get some clean air to the nose. Cunningham not going to fight him here, and Jake Ham going to go to the outside of the 91 and get that spot down the front stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Cunningham's smart. He knows what he needs to do. And fighting here, you might hold him off for a few laps. He's got fresher tire, about 2 laps fresher than Cunningham does. So no point fighting, giving up even more time. I mean, this is a razor's edge if you're racing, trying to make up spots. You can't battle side by side. Here is Ham going to get into the wall. That's not good.
That's not going to be good. We'll see if no tire rubs to probably worry about, but now Cunningham fights back to the inside, and this is worst case scenario for Jake Ham, who just got that spot away from him, and now he's going to lose it again as Cunningham not willing to relinquish the spot, and now Cunningham gets the spot back on Jake Ham, and now he'll try to cross him over, but now valuable time being costed from the 87 as the 91 lets him go again, but he can't afford to make another mistake because Bontrager is right behind them as well.
Yeah, Craig having a great race. He's started in the 9th spot. He's up to 7th. Doesn't quite have race-winning speed. I think right now, Caustic, McCarty, Garner, and Ham seem like the guys who have the race-winning speed. But I think Craig has definitely got a top 5 in him. I mean, he's staring at it right in front of him, and he can definitely get it done.
About the 4, Mike Browning having a solid run here tonight, running in the top 10, running in 8th. Haven't said much about him as one of our non-playoff contenders, and he's having a solid night here for himself. And he's got 2 playoff guys, or 2 non-playoff guys as well behind them. These are kind of the battle of non-playoff drivers: Ellingson, Browning, and Mullins. And Tyler Justice is a little ways away behind, about 6 seconds back. As here comes Ellingson to the inside of Mike Browning here for 8th on the racetrack. He'll give that spot up, and now Mullins will try to follow suit and work for 9th.
Yeah, Ellingson trying to make up for that incident earlier. No caution. We only had 1 caution on lap 4. So he's not had the opportunity to get kind of caught back up. So he's just been fighting to try to get that position, get back up there towards the front. He's 9 seconds back from the lead at the moment. See Jamie Mullins going down to the inside of Mike Browning. These guys 3-lap fresher tires than Browning. Browning came down pit road about 9 laps ago. These guys 6. So you can see the difference in just 3 laps on tires here at Pocono.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like we said, it does matter. And look at this. McCarty is now starting to get to Patrick Drabic, and and Jeremy Gardner is starting to get to Levi McCarty as they go by the lap truck of James Kaufman. But this is going to be a very interesting battle to monitor. And can these guys close up and draft up together to the leader of Michael Kostek as McCarty now looks to the inside of Drabic and now goes to the inside of Drabic, who is on 2-lap older tires compared to McCarty, and in 4-lap older tires compared to Jeremy Gardner. And McCarty will get that spot in a Cherry 1 just over the pure amount of grip that he will carry, but Drabic ain't going to let him go without a fight as Drabic goes to the inside, and this just might open the door for the 42 to get the 2-for-1 special into turn number 2 down the backstretch here. McCarty going to pull up side by side with the 07 driver, try to pull him back, side draft him here. But that momentum going to carry Dravic just clear. But now here comes McCarty pulling him back here. We'll see where Gardner goes.
Yeah, I mean, Dravic trying to hold on here. He's fighting hard. He's going to pinch down. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do in the tunnel turn. And very close there for McCarty. But these two drivers have to go. If they're going to catch Caustic, which I think they have the speed to do it, McCarty going to just let 42 go. But they have the speed to catch him, but they have to. Is McGarner going to go up to the outside? But they've got to go. They can't draft the 07. They've got to go around him now because they're running out of time. They're 3.7 seconds back. They can't ride behind older tires. And as much as Dravic wants to fight here, unfortunately, it's go time for these two drivers.
Yeah, and they're not going to really, I don't think, put too much of a, or I don't think Drivic's going to have really much to say because of the tire disadvantage that he has. And there they go, right on by. But now don't count out the truck that had just caught about a second a lap on them, and that's Jake Ham. He's now in the draft of this pack, towing along Daniel Cunningham and Craig Bontrager just a little bit. But now Ham with the freshest tires in this top 10, the highest running driver with the freshest tires in this top 10, is coming, but we'll see. Can Gardner and McCarty and probably Ham, can they run down Kostek with draft? Although Kostek will take a look at this field. He's only got maybe 2 more trucks he's going to run up on at the end of this race, and that's going to help him with draft, and we'll see what happens. But Kostek is pulling away down the front stretch just with the draft he's getting from Matt Knights.
Yeah, and across the line, Garner was about 0.3 of a second faster this lap. So at 0.3 of a second, it's not going to be enough. Kostek's really going to have to fall off a cliff on tires, which we did see that at the end of the first run. Guys really falling off. Garner was about a half a second faster. We'll see who is saving what because, I mean, Garner's got time, but it's just going to depend on what Kostek does. Right now, Kostek's in a great position. Caution comes out, that changes everything. But these guys are going to have to work together. McCarty and Garner, if they get up here battling each other, that is music to Kostek's ears because all that's going to do is just give him that extra little bit of space.
And we saw how amazing the long run speed of that 42 truck was, and I think we're seeing it again as he's cut it now under about 2 seconds here. And don't count out the 87 of Ham, who got by Dravic and is now behind the 24 of McCarty. This could possibly be a 4-horse race if they can catch in time. But Kostek is he's doing a good job, and I don't see anybody anywhere near him. He's got a little bit of draft from Duke, who's about probably 3 or 4 seconds up. But we'll see here.
Jake Ham was 0.7 of a second faster last lap. He is really rolling right now. And he's got to take advantage of the tire life that he has right now because he'll eventually plateau along with these guys that are in front of him. Yeah, so he's got to make the move. He's got to take advantage of his tires right now. He can't wait. So I think these guys are going to get pretty aggressive for second, third, and fourth here.
We know McCarty's going to get a little loose on the entry, but we know Ham is not afraid to make an aggressive move to get a spot. We saw him do it against Kostek, and we saw him do it again to hold off Jeremy Gardner for the lead not too long ago. And this time he has a run. Will he take it on McCarty? Yes, he will. To the inside goes Ham, and now he'll get to that left rear quarter panel, pull him back with the side draft. Can he throw it into turn number 1 and clear McCarty? He will. Jake Ham up to third, trying to become the 11th different winner of the season in the first 11 races, which would be a record and probably I've ever seen in any series I've ever broadcasted here on V-Speed. Can he do it, or will Kostek or Gardner get their second win of the season? Kostek the winner at Watkins Glen, Gardner the winner on the season opener at Talladega. Who can pull this off? There's 2.5 seconds and 13 laps to do it.
Yeah. Ham he's so fast right now. It's really it depends on how much Garner, if he can get around Garner, I think he's got a shot. I think Garner's got a shot. He has cut that down. They're about 3 to 4 tenths faster than Kostek is every single lap. In 13 laps, I mean, we're running almost a minute a lap. That is a long, long time on this track. So we still got a ways to go. They're catching him. I just don't know. I don't know what happens if they continue. If they battle each other, it might be over. So they have. Ham's got to be smart here, and so does Gardner. They have to make the decision together, and they have to work together as competitors. Which sounds like a crazy thing, but they have to decide: hey, we want to win this race, not race for second. I want to re-race him for the lead. And it looks like Ham is doing exactly that, which is just drafting the 42, pushing him down the straightaway, and trying to get him caught up to that number 3 machine.
Is it going to be enough is the question, because now Kostek is running up on lap trucks, and he's also getting a draft as well. That time, we'll see this time by as Kostek turned a 58.27, where Gardner turned a 58.0. We'll see right here is Ham, who turned a 57.6 that last lap. I think Ham maybe has to think about.
He has to think about. That was the difference.
Yeah.
Because now they're still 3/10 faster running together. Yeah.
We'll see, man. Like you said, 3/10 at this rate, it just might be enough. And as soon as Gardner can get in the draft range of Kostek, they're there. They will be there.
Yep.
How quick is it going to take when they get there, though? Because they're reeling them in, but they got to remember, too, there's lap trucks that are going to give Kostek a draft as well. That time, a very good corner.
Yeah, big IQ from these drivers. I mean, they know what they have to do.
Smart.
And Jake Ham being very, very smart about how he's dealing with this and getting up there. I mean, like I said, it's a weird thing to try to work. Oh, Gardner! That's
and
it.
And now Ham's going to get by him, and that's going to cost Gardner 1 and probably 2 spots as McCarty gets underneath them and gets by him. Now it's up to Jake Ham. Can he run down Kostek with even fresher tires than Gardner, but no drafting help?
Wow, that was big. Yeah, Gardner going to come back on, try to get Levi McCarty, but, man, that was a massive hit to the right side. I don't know how he doesn't have more damage than he actually does, because, golly, he pancaked the wall so hard. We'll see if Levi can hold him off here. This will be a pretty telling tale on how the truck is for the 42, and seems like it's driving okay as McCarty going to get the run on the outside, but that's going to do it for Gardner. If we don't get a caution, I don't think he's got a shot. After that, they needed every single 10th of a second to get up there to the front, and did not need that to happen. That's for sure.
And I'm looking at how Ham's running. I just don't think he's now with no help is not going to be able to get up there. I just think that's going to be hard. How about this behind them? Cunningham, Drabick battling. Ellingson has ran these guys down, and Ellingson is flying up through the field right now. He was very fast just a lap ago. Was almost, I think he still turned a 57, so very impressive, but he's got to be careful battling with Bontrager. He gets loose off the corner, and he sends it down pit road, almost in to the barrels, and going to spin into pit road, no caution, and Ellingson, another position, a great run, gone and off of the race, and out goes Ellingson.
Yeah, that's twice that's happened. Just pushing it, and we'll take a look at the track tip. 127 degrees. That is hot. And so you just don't have the grip on exits that you need. And when you try a little bit too hard, those rear tires will start to grip up, and then you're just kind of stuck, and you can't do anything about it.
Jake Ham had a monster lap that last time. He's cut it to 1.4
He's gonna
seconds
catch him,
to 10 to go.
He's definitely going to catch him.
And I think what's helping him,
1.5 seconds back, 3/10 a lap. That's plenty.
Lap traffic,
but
traffic. I think
that's what I want to see.
Filling there.
I want to see you
That's
pass
gonna be tough. That's going to be tough. We'll see, though. He's cut it to 1.3. Maybe the effects of the dirty air from Matt. I think is that Matt Knight's ahead of Michael Kostek. I think, sorry, that's not Matt Knight's. I think that might be. Is that? I can't really tell who that is, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure. It's not the Duke, and it's the truck behind him, and I'm not really sure who that is. And
it is Matt Knight.
It is Matt Knight. It is the 64, and I think Kostek is starting to feel the effects of the dirty air. He doesn't have clean air anymore. He has draft, which is great and all, but draft is not good in the corners, and that is allowing Ham to reel him in this time, especially into the tunnel turn. But Ham needs to be careful and get that truck pointed in the right direction. He keeps missing the entry of the tunnel turn, and it's costing him time.
I don't know how much time he was half a second faster last lap. We'll see this time as he has closed it to about 1.1 seconds. And, this is always a tough position for the leader to be in, because you don't really know where the lap traffic's going to go. Are they going to settle in the line? This is one of those tracks that, it's like, oh, go around the outside. You just really can't do that. So you're really hoping the lap traffic will kind of move on out of the way, and it looks like he's going to get the run, go down to the inside. Matt Knight stays out of the way. Great job there. You were right, Jake Ham, only 2/10 faster that time, but Kostek struggling there on exit.
Yeah, he did a good exit, and that cut 3/10 just right there. But now Ham's got to be careful getting around the lap truck of Matt Knight. He cannot, especially in the tunnel turn. kill himself on time here. Knight's probably do a good job staying out of the way here. This is a tough place to kind of let somebody go. Maybe he'll pull to the left here, let him go into turn 3. He's going to stay in front of him here. Now, this is going to cost Ham a little bit of time here. We'll see the lane Knights lets him go, and he will. And now Ham is there and has a chance on Michael Kostek, and he's well within draft range, only 0.8 of a second. Can Ham reel in Kostek with only 7 laps to go?
Ooh, it is going to be close. I don't know how much more lap traffic we're going to have. Look out front of Kostek. We've got somebody out there. I think that's David Duke.
Yeah,
I don't know how hard he's going to fight. I mean, Duke has all the rights in the world to fight for that position, to stay on the lead lap in case a caution comes out. But I don't know. It's not really going to matter. Ham is there. He's going to have the draft. He's got the faster tires. Ham's got everything he needs, and he's got plenty of time. So right now, I think with Kostek, you're probably trying to figure out, how am I going to defend? I'm going to make him work for it as hard as I can.
Great tunnel turn from Ham. Kostek is pushing that truck. You can see him slide around, and Ham cut out another 0.2 this lap. What will he be able to do when he gets to him? Can he pass him? Now he's going to feel the effects of the dirty air from the 3 truck. Can he navigate around it and get at least next to him to have a chance to complete a pass? Now cuts it down to 0.4 of a second, well within the draft. Now we're going to see Kostek try to pull an Indy car and shake the draft. And don't count out Levi McCarty and Jeremy Gardner, who are waiting in the wings if these two start racing each other.
Yeah, you know what, you took the words right out of my mouth. Ham is definitely the fastest. They get up here and get the racing.
It's getting tight.
These two behind them they're going to catch him quick. So if they get side by side, these two are there. I mean, they're 2 seconds back from the leader. And if Ham can't complete this pass quickly, Gardner and McCarty are going to be there.
They are, and this will be coming to 5 laps to go. That time, they both missed the tunnel turn and missed that yellow line. We'll see what happens here. They stay even, about 0.3 of a second separating them, and we'll see if McCarty and Gardner can run them down. They're working together in the draft, but this time, Kostek takes the air away from Ham, but Ham gets that headlight just a little lower to try to get that run. Kostek has a big moment off of 3, and now it's going to cost him time down this front stretch with Ham big in the draft.
Yeah, Ham's going to have a big run. Ham is there. It is just a matter of time. Levi McCarty, they're running. Gardner and McCarty running just as fast as Ham is. I think, they're working together really well. But here comes Ham looking down to the inside. Can he get this done quickly? Can Kostek hold him off? What's Kostek going to do?
We'll see, as now he is in the tire tracks right behind the tailgate of the 3 of Kostek. Down Long Pond straightaway into the tunnel turn. Ham looks low. He gets back behind Kostek. Kostek drives it in deep. He might have missed the center because Ham sets him up exit, but he gets tight behind in the wake of the 3 truck, and he'll have to settle another set of corners behind the 3 of Kostek. Can he get a big enough run down this front stretch to make a move on Kostek? He gets a tail light or headlight lower than the 3. Can he get the run off the exit of the corner? He gets loose behind him, and he taps the wall.
Dirty air playing a factor in this battle for sure, as Ham really struggling from the middle exit, is that the downforce just falls off the truck. He got to him quickly with the draft, but you can see the dirty air playing a big factor, as you're right, the 3 kind of putting the truck where Ham wants to be, although Ham gets a good drive, although he's pushing him off the corner. Oh, he got a great drive.
Kostek got loose, and here comes Ham to the inside, looking to lock himself into the next round. Both these drivers, playoff drivers, into the tunnel turn they'll go, side by side. Ham with the send to the inside. Kostek runs them low. They're still side by side out of the tunnel turn. Ham with the run, but here comes Kostek, fighting him back on the outside into 3.
Side by side into turn 3. Will Ham be able to complete this pass with the fresher tires? Kostek fighting hard, though, but I think he's going to get the run here. We're going to see what's going to happen. Drag race down the front straightaway. A little bit of side draft from Michael Kostek, going to pull Ham back as they go down to turn 1. I don't know who's going to have the better turn. Ham has been the best on the bottom here. What can he do here into turn 1?
They both send it in deep. Kostek goes over the bumps. Ham on the inside. He's going to get the traction. Can he clear Kostek? He gets loose. They both get loose. They almost hit each other. Kostek with the momentum. And here comes McCarty closing in behind. Kostek holds him off for one more lap. Can he hold him off again? Does Ham have anything left?
Does Kostek have anything left? He is fighting like hell. The 87 using the draft to his advantage to get there, but just could not complete the pass off the corner. Now he's got another big run here. Gonna look. He's gonna run in the tire tracks of the 3. McCarty loving this as they. Go ahead, Alec.
Kostek got tight, and like we said, McCarty, now he gets loose. McCarty got the wall up for the tunnel turn. Here comes Ham. Another shot. 2 to go at the start-finish line. But what a run the 87 has. They're side by side for the lead again. Kostek chasing him down for the side draft. Into turn number 1 they go again. Kostek sends it hard. On the outside, he misses the corner, and Ham gets the drive off. Jake Ham clears Michael Kostek with 2 laps to go. Can Jake Ham do it? Punches to go to the next round and become the 11th different winner of the season. Does he have enough? Michael Kostek still has 1 more lap to do it. Through the tunnel turn they go. There's lap traffic ahead. It's David Duke and it's James Kaufman into turn 3. They'll come off of 3. And they'll see the white flag, a playoff spot, and an advancement into the next round. Jake Ham looking to become the 11th different winner of the season. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. 2.5 miles to settle it amongst the top 2. Jake Ham continuing to pull away from Michael Kostek. 2:10 separating the top 2 into turn number 1 for the final time.
Kostek's not really going to have too many opportunities here. Go ahead, Al.
Sorry, he's in the dirty air, and he's just going to get tight, and I don't know if that's going to hurt or help him. They're side by side ahead of him, and now this could be all Jake Ham needs as Kostek messed up into the tunnel turn for the final time. Ham sets it down to the bottom. This might be all he needs. Kostek gets loose. He hits the wall. Michael Kostek hits the wall, and that could be all she wrote for Jake Ham into turn 3 for the final time. 11 different races, 11 different drivers will have won this season. Jake Ham will punch his ticket into the next round, and he will win at the Pocono Raceway. What a drive and what a win for Jake Ham. Sorry to cut you off there, Eddie, but I noticed Kostek just lost the nose, and that might have been all she wrote. And how about that? Jake Ham, 11 different winners and an advancement in the next round. What a race. What a battle for the win.
Unbelievable drive there. After the pit stops, Ham knew what he had to do, and he executed perfectly. Garner, McCarty, both having issues, not able to get up through there, but Ham doing everything just right, taking advantage of that, running long, having those better tires at the end, and it worked out just perfectly for him, able to make the pass. But valiant effort for Kostek, battling, fighting hard to keep that 87 behind him. Just ran out of tires there at the end. But 11 different winners in the Friday Night Truck Series. That's why it is the premier series here in this league. It's just unbelievable what these guys have done. And we're gonna go jump through a couple sponsors here, Alec, if you want to, before we take a commercial break. We'll come back for the interviews.
Yes, we will. And how about Cruising Classics? I'm sure they got a great show here tonight. Jake Ham, your winner. And Cruising Classics, located in Columbus, Ohio, has a beautiful 56,000 square feet showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. And there's something for everybody out there. Hand-picked selections of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today and check out their website at cruisingclassicsinc.com. And, well, if you enjoyed that race, how about you enjoy Hidden Wit Brewery beers? A little burnout contact with the teammates. Hidden Wit Brewery Company was born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the world outside our doors. Their focus from the beginning has always been craft drinkable beers you love to enjoy. And they are a majority veteran owned and the title sponsor of the Tuesday Xfinity Series. And InVets is, well, another great sponsor, and they aid in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their family to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to the state to live and work. And they are a title sponsor of the Sunday Night Truck Series. Appreciate InVets for all they do. And obviously, if you're watching a Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, that was a heck of a show to watch. And they opened up March 21st, 2012. And Man, they opened up in Hillard, Ohio. From the get-go, they aimed to embody the energy and passion that their sons Nathan and John poured into their dreams. Nathan's commitment to hospitality ensured that every guest received exceptional food and service. And they are the co-sponsors of Wednesday's Next Gen series, and they host numerous fundraisers in their establishment with the goal of raising funds to donate a sim rig to a deserving veteran or first responder. And they got treated to a heck of a race as Jake Ham was the winner. And we'll go to a quick commercial break to get these drivers for an interview, and we'll read our results and interview the top three. So stick around for post-race interviews, and we'll be right back.
.org today. A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
And welcome back to the Pocono Raceway at the conclusion of playoff race one here that was won by Jake Ham. And what a race we saw tonight. Let's take a look at our finishing results. Jake Ham, the winner, and he becomes our 11th different winner in 11 different races, and he punches his ticket into the next round. Michael Kostek dominates the race, but comes up just one spot short in second. Levi McCarty is third. Jeremy Gardner is fourth. Daniel Cunningham is fifth. Patrick Drabick is sixth. Craig Bontrager was seventh. Jamie Mullins was eighth. Mike Browning was ninth, and Charlie Harcum was 10th.
In 11th, Tyler Justice, Howie DeSavino in 12th, Brandon Wallace in 13th, George Jewell in 14th, James Goshen in 15th, Chuck Phelps in 16th, David Duke in 17th, and then Chance Taylor, we talked about him having that issue early. He was back in 23rd position. He fought hard, and look at it. Comes away with an 18th place finish. So he gains the spots even with a torn up race truck. That's what you got to do if you're going to race for a championship. So Chance doing a great job. Jim Coughlin in 19th and Jake Ellingson disappointed in 20th.
And 21st was Matt Knights. 22nd was a playoff driver, Stephen McDonald. Logan Sturgeon was the 23rd, and Andrew Chapman was 24th on the racetrack. And we'll pull up our third place finisher here tonight, and that was Levi McCarty. Get him in here. Levi McCarty, Alec Martinez, Eddie Smith in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, a hard-fought P3 for you here tonight, and a solid points day for you as well. Take us through your race and how much the third place means going into the final race of the round next week at IRP.
Feels good. Yeah, just trying to survive tonight. I honestly was hoping for a top 5 third. Really happy with that. Don't feel like I had much for the top 2, and then even Jeremy Gardner behind me there, he got the wall pretty good, so I was able to scrap out a third place. But yeah, those guys were really fast tonight. It was a good battle, and just trying to race the track and come home with a solid finish. You know, just you can't really win the championship on this first race here, but you know, a DNF would put you in danger of losing it. So just trying to have a safe night, and that's what we did. So definitely happy to come home with a third.
For sure, and you'll have a solid points gap over the cut line next week at IRP, a short track. You won at Phoenix, sort of a short track length race. Next week, a more worn out, wide short track. How do you feel about going to IRP and seeing if you can advance to the next round?
Love IRP, great track. Yeah, we'll probably go out and try as hard as we can to win and see where that puts us. Maybe take a little bit more risk than we did tonight, and just my confidence level being a little bit higher there. So, yeah, excited to get to IRP and hopefully advance on to the next round.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Levi. Does anybody want to give a shout out to here tonight for your finish tonight?
Yeah, I gotta obviously thank Lincoln Tech for sponsoring the series. Appreciate everything they do. Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life Racing, Veterans for Life Foundation, Macone Setup Shop. Thanks to those guys as always. V-Speed, thank you guys for an amazing broadcast. Also got a shout out B&H Racing. Appreciate those guys racing and having me on the team. B&H IT Services, Phillips Media, and last but not least, Fairfield Auto Group. Appreciate everything they do.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Levi. Congratulations, and maybe we'll be talking to you again next week at IRP.
Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good one. And that's Levi McCarty, our third place finisher, and we'll go to our second place finisher, Michael Kostick. Eddie, I believe you're with him.
Michael, man, a fun drive, awesome race truck. That Jack Daniels McLaren number 3 Chevrolet was fast. You got out front early, able to get around your teammate. What was the track doing to you out there? We saw y'all sliding around 126-degree track temp. What was the struggle here tonight to keep the truck under you?
Um, Really just trying to be conservative on the exits, but it's tough to do when you got to kind of carry such a good run. It was real easy to snap loose out of 1 and out of 2. And turn 3, I was kind of getting loose in the middle, but yeah, I mean, it was a fun setup to drive. It made it a little bit better in the trucks. Usually it's just pretty much tight.
Yeah, and it seemed like it's just it was a lot of fun to get out there and just sling the truck around. You came down pit road right after you got passed for third or for second place. You came down pit road early. I thought that was going to be a winning strategy. Did you feel pretty confident about that whenever you came out of pit road?
I did it first, and then they stayed out a lot longer, and I started to feel less confident. Um, yeah, it was just too much of an undercut. I kind of wanted like 2 laps, not the 5. So as soon as I seen Jake catching me, and once he caught the draft, it was going to be nearly impossible to hold him off.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd had a great effort though. I mean, it was pretty awesome to watch you guys race, and he got to you, and you didn't make it easy. That first, you fought him off pretty well that first time, and then he got another run on you. Did he needed him to catch you in a different corner? Because I know the tunnel turn would be a great spot for him to get to the inside. You could hold that one, but him getting you into one was that probably the toughest spot to kind of hold him off.
Yeah, I mean, it's with the I mean, I think he had like 5 or 6 lap fresher tires or something like that. So I just couldn't get the turn on it through the middle to carry the speed on exit without getting super snappy loose. So I mean, yeah, if he would have not been side by side with me into one, I think I'd had a better chance to try to hold him off. But with the position he already had, it was kind of just try to back off, get the run, and catch him back up.
Yeah, well, you would love to get the win. Of course, the best story of the night is we have 11 different winners in this series, which is incredible. But also, it's the first round of the playoffs. You'd love to lock yourself into the next round. But a second place in a 2-round, playoff, it's got to feel good to get that second place, make it a little bit easier going into next week.
Oh yeah, especially not really looking forward to next week. So all the points, the better.
Well, second place, good fault, hard drive here tonight to get that second place. Great effort. And as always, man, who do you have to thank?
Thank you guys at VSpeed for doing the broadcast. Lincoln Tech, Veterans for Life Foundation, Macone Setup Shop, Jam Printing and Promotion, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PC, SimMotion, Next Level Racing, Above the Yellow Line, and all the admins and stuff at Goat Locker for all the work they do, and my teammates at Bandits.
All right, that's your second place finisher, Michael Kostick. And Alec, I believe he is caught up with your winner, Jake Ham.
Yes, sir. Jake Ham, Alec Martinez, Eddie Smith in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you become our 11th different winner of the season, so that's an accomplishment in itself. But you are the 11th different winner. You're in the playoffs, and now you're into the next round. How much of a relief is it to get that win and not even have to worry about next week?
It feels fantastic. To feel how it feels to win. I love it.
It's a great feeling, and like I said, your first win of the season. How does it feel to finally being so close? Yeah, so far, and then finally getting that win, and then now I know IRP's next week. You can probably deny somebody extra points into the next round. How do you feel about going to IRP and maybe trying to go 2 in a row and get this hot streak going in the playoffs?
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Tonight the strategy, well, like I mentioned last week, I mentioned I was going to pit earlier, get a few seconds, a couple laps quicker, and play a different gig there. And honestly, went out the window, completely forgot about it. And I feel like it played into my favor. When I came out of the pits tonight, it was just, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 7, 8 seconds behind. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I was able to get, by some people pretty quick. And so it worked out really well. And so I need to put in some practice, for next week and see how that's going to play out, in the tire wear and things like that. But I'm definitely looking forward to next week. Hopefully we can carry it through and finish strong.
For sure, and the momentum's definitely on your side. And obviously, your first win of the season tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to here for this win?
Yeah, absolutely. We got Lincoln Tech, we got Nasty's Restaurant Bar, Veterans for Life, the foundation, for everything that they do. You guys, the VSP, the broadcast, appreciate it. Love to go back. I'm super pumped to go back and watch this one. McConey's for the setup tonight. The setup was a blast. I tell you what, it helped out tremendously. And then appreciate. I ran a new paint scheme tonight. Mike Browning for the paint scheme. He lit it up tonight. I appreciate that. And honestly, family and friends for watching and giving some support. For being there for the broadcast. I appreciate it.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Jake. And again, congratulations on the win. And we'll see you next week at IRP.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys, and go Mike Tyson.
Thank you very much, Jake. And we'll have a good one. And as I say, I forgot that's happening today. But man, oh man, Eddie, we'll bring you back here. And what a race we saw today. 11 different winners, 11 different races. And Jake Ham, I think, was a statement win. He's been there knocking on the door almost all season and finally gets it. And we talk about playoffs, momentum being real, man. He looks like he's going to be a guy to go through for the championship.
Yeah, I've been waiting on Levi McCarty. I've been waiting on Jake Ham to get those wins. Still waiting on Daniel Cunningham to get his win. I thought tonight would have been a great opportunity. He comes home in fifth, though, a great finish. Who's the favorite? I have no idea who's the favorite to win this series. It's unbelievable how competitive it is. 11 different winners, and it is very likely at IRP next week that we go for 12.
Oh, that's going to be wild to see. We hope all of you guys tune into what will be a crazy, wild race Friday night. Under the lights, short track style race at IRP, old, worn out track. It's going to be a heck of a show, but we appreciate everybody for tuning in here tonight from the Tricky Triangle. What a race we were treated to. Again, congratulations to Jake Ham and 11 different winners. We'll go for 12 next week. For everybody here at Goat Locker, for Patrick Travick, for Jamie Barkus, and everybody here at Goat Locker, for Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper at V-Speed, and my producer, co-commentator today, Eddie Smith. Appreciate you being in the booth, buddy. It's been a fun time, but thank you guys for all tuning in for the broadcast. We look forward to seeing you next week at IRP. Have a phenomenal week, and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye.